So today's lesson will be focusing on plotting plotting points on an x and y coordinate plane. Specifically, it'll just be positive numbers. As we advance, we'll get to more difficult using negative numbers as well. The object of learning this is so that, because in real life we'll do directions, like someone will tell you to go left or right, and this kind of helps us do the same thing as we plot points and go a certain direction. So to do this lesson, you'll need a Geoboard, which has these little pegs. For me, luckily, it's already been numbered, but if yours doesn't have it, just go on the outside of your paper, label it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this side, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. As we advance, we'll do more numbers this way, but for now, that'll be fine. You'll also need a sheet of paper for the outside, 2 different color rubber bands, and I'll explain later why they need to be different colors, and markers. So to begin, when we have a number, for instance, the point we're going to use as our example is 2, 3. Now, those numbers each represent a portion of the board, which are the x and y coordinates. The x coordinate goes this way. And it starts from here and goes this way. The y coordinate starts from below and goes up. So y coordinate. Now, our numbers will each represent that. The first number will be the x coordinate, so that number will be plotted in this direction. The second number is the y, and it will be plotted in this direction. So to do that, here's what we're going to take the different color rubber bands. One is going to represent the x, one is going to represent the y. So my first number is x, so I will start in this direction, and it's 2. So I'm going to start at 0, take my rubber band, and go to 2. Pretty good? Now the next number is 3. I'm going to start where I stopped off with the x and go up 3. So I'll wrap it around here and go to 3. Now where the point it stopped, that is my point. So I'm going to take my marker and just kind of fill it in so I'll remember. And now I can take my rubber bands away. And now I know that point 2, 3 is here because I went 2 on the x coordinate and up 3 on the y. Pretty simple? Okay, so let's try some examples as we go. On this one, we have 3, 1. Now remember, this is the x, this is the y. So I'm going to start off with the 3. I'm going to use my red rubber band to represent x. I'm going to start at 0 and go 3 to the right, because that's where x goes. From here, I'm going to go up 1, because that's where the y coordinates go. So up 1. And so since that's where it stopped, I forgot to erase that. I'm going to mark this one. And I can take my rubber bands away. So now 3, 1 is here, because I went 3 on the x, up 1 on the y. Pretty good? Let's do a little bit more of a challenging one. So this point is 3, 0. Well, how do I do that? So let's remember, this is still x, this is still y. So my red rubber band is going to represent my x. So I'm going to go 3 this way, so that's my x. But y is 0. So what would I do for that? Well, since the number 0 is still represented here, I don't have to go anywhere because I'm already at 0. So I'll mark my point here, and I can take my rubber band away. And that is 3, 0, because I went 3 on the x coordinate, which was to the right, and since I was already on 0 for the y, I didn't have to go anywhere else. Now that we've tried a couple examples and everything, let's try a non-example, which means I'm not going to do this right. So your job is to see what I did wrong. The point of that is so that way, in case if you ever make that mistake, you'll already know in advance that I need to watch out for that. So my number is 1, 4. Remember, this is the X, this is the Y. As we advance, you probably won't need to mark them all the time. This is just so you can start getting it into your head that that represents the X, that represents the Y. And as we, again, as we advance, we will take this away and all you will have is the arrows. So the red's going to represent my X. Okay. So as I'm going, see where I'm going to mess up. I'm going to give you a second to try to figure it out. If you need to pause the video, feel free to do that. Okay, have you got it? I did go 1 on the X, which was to the right, but I didn't continue from this point. I started back at 0. On our X, we start from 0, 0, but then for the Y, we continued where we left off. So I'm going to take away my blue rubber band. I'm going to start where I left off and go up 4, which is having some difficulty. You may have this too. Okay, so now 1 to the right on the X, up 4 on the Y. So I know this is my point. And so now I know I have it correctly. If you would like to do this at home, but don't have a Geoboard with you on hand, you can always just draw it out like I did here. And you can make little ticks like this to represent your numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can do the same here. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and as we advance, I will have more lessons for you. Thank you.